Hello badminton fans, and welcome to this test number 675, and we have with us here the Mizuno JPX CX edition. Right, so the format of this video, we're going to talk about the price availability, we're going to talk about the product specification, we're going to talk about the design, and we're going to talk about the conclusion, how we found this racket to use. Preceding that, we will move on to the E-zone testing and talking about the Badminton Racket review and the E-zone testing a little bit more. If you're not familiar with it, for those of you who are, I think you know what's coming up. So we've changed the format for people who are looking for the product review and the product conclusion, so you can get to that quicker. A few changes coming up for 2020. We are no longer doing the control tests, where we test the racket for control by doing a drop shot into buckets and scoring. The control test is now scored when we do our court testing, and we use it in various different scenarios: drop shots at the front, from the back, backhand, forehand, side, and we give the racket a control score. The other changes are going to come to the E-zone. We're going to add a search feature in the E-zone. We're going to add a 5 more tests to make the E-zone scoring even deeper, so you get an even deeper understanding, even more comprehensive understanding of each racket. We are going to also add a date timeline, so you can choose if you want to look at the most latest reviews and so on and so forth. So there are changes coming up for this year, and there is the talk of making the E-zone a free of charge access platform for all badminton players across the world. That's not been decided yet, but that's to come in 2020. Right, back to the Mizuno JPX CX edition. So price of this racket, £135 is the price. Availability on the CX, well, it's still very limited. If you're looking to buy this racket in the UK, we will sell it at www.badminton-racket-review.com. There's a link below to the site. It's hard getting hold of Mizuno and bringing them into Europe is really tough. We will leave this on back order, so essentially what that means is we are not going to bring stock into the UK. It's much trickier and it costs a lot more to do that. So the best way to do it is for you to place the order via our website. The lead time normally is about 14 working days, and we can pretty much get this shipped anywhere across the world for you directly from Mizuno in Asia. That's how we do it. It's a better way of doing it. Loads of customers have bought that way, and loads of customers have been fully satisfied with the experience. Just remember, it's not instantaneous. It does take about 14 working days ish. Okay, right, so that's availability. You have the price. £135 is actually not a bad price for such a premium product. Let me be very clear, for those of you who are, I'm just going on to the E-zone page. For those of you who are Yonex fans leaning, or Victor fans, and think they are the only manufacturer that produce high quality product, let me tell you something. This Goosen Mizuno manufacturing process, you just take a look at this. This is high end manufacturing. It is everything with the JPX range is just absolutely wow. So if you're looking at it from a build perspective, finishing perspective, you can only get as good as this. You're not going to get better. It doesn't matter which brand it is. Right, racket specs. Let's talk about racket specs. Overall weight here, according to, let me go to my racket specs. Here we go. Right, overall weight for you, overall weight, which is, so that's Mizuno saying 80 to 85 grams. The E-zone testing for weight shows it to weigh 89.5 grams. That's with the grip supplied by Mizuno and Yonex BG65 string. Balance point on this racket is veering towards the head. It doesn't give you a millimeters, but it says going towards the head, so the shaft balance is going in the head direction. The E-zone testing also has it down to be slightly towards the head at 305mm, slightly in this direction. Shaft stiffness says here flex medium flex, but the E-zone testing has this down to be a stiff racket. I personally agree with the E-zone testing. In using once I've used this racket on court, and I do think it is more towards stiff than it is medium. Okay, other information that you'll find helpful: 32 pounds maximum string tension. 32 pounds. Do we have a grip size? G5. The grip size on this is a G5 grip. Let's just tell you some other information that you might find of use. CX edition. So some of the features are: it has an aero hexagram design, and I believe that is referring to the head. You can see the hexagram design in the head. Hot melt tech, so it does use graphite and carbon in the build of the racket. The shaft is constructed using nano-PEF, so nanofiber, essentially, for those of you who really want to know about this stuff, and a carbon handle. I think I already mentioned that. Talks about having an extra slim shaft, 6.8mm. Does say it's 6.8, and it is fairly thin. It's quite a thin frame shaft. Yeah, and there's loads of other bits of tech. I think you're probably already starting to yawn, so I'm going to stop on that. Okay, so in terms of design, the racket is designed really executed really well. It's hard to tell looking at it from where you're sitting, but it has an infusion of black and red, seamlessly done. Amazing JPX graphics in the head, just executed beautifully. Goosen standards of execution. Not quite the vibrancy that Kawasaki or Victor bring to the table with their color ranges, and Kawasaki has got to be the designer racket of the year. The King K9 was absolutely mind-blowing, as was the Spider, but execution wise, unbeatable, absolutely unbeatable. Take a look at these close-up JPEGs and see for yourself. Okay, so what do we think of this racket in using it? So how would you think it's going to play? Well, the specs kind of give a story. 89 grams is the overall weight. It's head heavy. It's actually stiff, not medium stiff. So how does it play? Well, to use it, because to pick it up, it actually feels quite good. It feels not bad, but once you start hitting the shuttle with it, there is a dullness to it, to be honest with you. It feels slightly heavy. The speed is not bad. It feels, like I said, it feels reasonably quick in the air, but again, in usage, the shaft does feel stiff. It doesn't feel fast, and that leads to a sort of, if you're a hold and hit for deception, so you're kind of lining up for the smash, you come in and you just ping the shuttle, so you're sort of trying to clear past the opponent. It doesn't really give you the ping you're looking for, so you're going to have fairly large range of motions to get this racket to move the shuttle around, and that really is going to start to interfere with some of your deceptive shots if you're trying to ping them to the back of the court. Okay, the primary strengths of this racket, I would say, are its control is reasonably good. It offers nice, all the JPX are really stable rackets, really stable, nice control levels, really taking on leaning in that area. I think they're as good as leaning in that area. In all other areas of the doubles game, this racket is nowhere near the standard it should be at. 135 pounds. Even if it was £65, it's nowhere near the standard of other rackets in all other areas of a doubles game, and in terms of singles it's just not going to cut it. So therefore this racket may work better with a player whose technique is solid, who moves around the court swiftly, a player who likes the Astrox 99, Astrox 88. If you're that kind of player, and you can get those rackets to work for you, because so many people can't, even though they think they can. You know, I've seen people on court using those rackets, they're underpowered, they're defending late, because they just haven't got what it takes to get a racket like that to really work for you. Then you might like this racket. For the vast majority of players out there, club players, district players, county players, so on and so forth, J-Nice, again, the Black Panther J-Nice, if you're looking for a high-end, decent quality racket, Black Panther J-Nice is great racket. Gonna take you some time. You're gonna walk on, you're gonna either love it or hate it, but give it time, it will get better. The Kawasaki King K9, great. I prefer the Honor S6 by Kawasaki to this. Nano Flare 270, there has been talk on the channel about some fragility, so some fragileness from that racket, so I'm kind of not steering so much in that direction anymore. And then you got the Obros range. Hammerhead, brilliant. Nano 9900, great. Super fast compared to this, much cheaper. I'm assuming people who are buying this racket won't go to the Obros range, so Astrox 39, easy peasy to use, easy peasy, great racket. You always get nice impact with that racket, you always get great sound off the racket. It does everything nicely, it does everything well. Can't justify recommending this racket to you people. If you want a JPX, I think it was the 8.1, go for that. Limited edition, perhaps go for that. This one, can't recommend it, just not good enough. So I'm afraid it's a thumbs down. My apologies to Mizuno fans. We have recommended the JPX, even though the E-zone scoring wasn't great. There was something about those rackets, the 8.1, the 8.3, even a limited edition, but the 8.13, something crisp about those rackets. I would say try those out. I think you're going to enjoy playing with those compared to this if you're a Mizuno JPX fan. If you don't really care about the brand and you just want a decent racket, definitely try the J-Nice. Don't try the Kawasaki. You know, depends which part of the world you are and what you can access and what you can't. We're trying our best to make all these rackets available across the world. It's not an easy task. Okay, I hope you found that helpful. We are going to move on to talk about the E-zone and show the E-zone smash and maneuver test now. If you're familiar with it, you don't want to see it, you can move on from this point in the video. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for the feedback we're starting to receive, and for the reviews that people are starting to leave on rackets they've used. So important you start doing that, not just asking questions, what do you think of this racket compared to that racket? You know, that's fine, but start to leave reviews. If you've gone and bought the racket, take the time and leave the review. It's helpful to other people. E-zone users, leave reviews on the E-zone. So important. Okay, so thank you for tuning in. If you're not going to stay for the E-zone part of this video, we'll see you on the next video. For those of you who are sticking around for the E-zone testing, just very quickly, the E-zone is a platform created by Badminton Racket Review. You can find out more by going to www.badmintonracketreview.co.uk. The links are below. The E-zone is a platform where you can compare rackets from 19 different world-class manufacturers, and you can compare them in detail like you've never been able to do before. And once you've deciphered those rackets down to say 3 or 4 and you dig down, there's even more information on the racket, and that's going to improve even further in 2020. The key information you need to know about Badminton Racket Review is we use the same Yonex BG65 strings in every racket. We restring all of them to 25 pounds of tension, and we use the same Yonex AS30 shuttles when we are testing the rackets, and the same player tests them. The two shots you're about to see here now, the smash and maneuver shot, are there's the test parameters there are we take 6 shots. If we're happy with those shots, we then take the measurements using the equipment on site, and for the smash shot we take the head speed of the we measure the head speed of the racket and the shuttle speed, and we take the two highest scores and we get an average score, which gives us a smash speed and a smash score for the racket. For the maneuver shot, we take the two highest head speeds of the racket in motion, we average those, which gives us a maneuver speed and maneuver score. Here are the shots taking place straight after that. We will be signing up from this video today. Hope you've enjoyed it. We will see you next time. Here's the smash shot.